Good day, viewers. Thank you for joining us again. Another edition of Ben Talks, and today we're here with somebody that has actually done well in the fight to make sure that the youths are placed where they belong in Nigeria, in Africa, and globally. He's no other person than Engineer Noah Dalaji. I hope I pronounced that well very well, sir. Okay, sir, you are a founder of a foundation that concentrates so much about children, youth, bringing them to useful adults in the society. How did this whole thing start?
Wow, that's a good question, an amazing one. If I could remember very well, years back, during the university days, somewhere around the corner, talking about Maiduguri precisely, I used to have a friend, very close friend. She goes by the name Shelley. And Shelley, she seemed to have to be someone that liked to help people, So one day, we were having a conversation. I went to a place called Post Office. Post Office is like the center of Borno, just like you say, we say to the center of Abuja. And as a student then, we were looking for something to eat. Now, here comes all these boys, they call them almajiris, looking very tattered, looking somehow. And if you see them, you know that something has to be done, otherwise there's going to be a problem. And then I told her, I said, you see these children? If nothing is being done, they will turn to something that even the government cannot control them. I'm talking about how many years ago? Let's say 20 years ago or so. So he said, so what can we do? I said, no. One thing for sure that I know, every single human being was not born to be wasted. If you are born into this world, then you are in nature. And then nature doesn't make a mistake. And therefore nature doesn't produce a failure. But until you recognize who you are, you will never walk on the line of it. So I said, look, something has to be done for these guys to be able to believe that there is something inside them, and then that they could become somebody. Because it doesn't matter, because I understand they don't want to go to school, they want to go to university, but that does not make them failures. Because you mustn't go to school to become somebody in life. Give an example of most of the famous people today are not even graduate. He talks about somebody like Cristiano Ronaldo. He's one of the most famous person in the world. And we talk about sport. He has not seen the forward of the university. But today he is more celebrated than most president of the world. Why? Because he has something inside him that he has activated that thing, and he becomes a natural knowledge. And that natural knowledge is one of the greatest things that has taken to where he is today. So I said to myself, look, we have to start thinking of something. And then that was when the vision came overnight. Then it was Nigerian Children Talent Discovery Foundation. And that Children Talent Discovery Foundation was for me to come up with a vision that I will pass it on to the first ladies of the governors of Nigeria. Let them have something to drive with. Every first lady that comes should have something. And I'll never forget my vice chancellor then. He said to me, look, this is, because I discussed that with him, he said, this is bigger than first ladies. This is a vision that you need to be putting it together. And then if you think you have the capacity to continue doing it, it will change a lot of things. Mentality, lives, more especially, particularly in this country. And then the idea begins to come. Once the idea comes, I just write it. Just like somebody who's writing a PhD thesis, the ideas will drop and then you write it. The ideas will come and you write it. That's how it keeps coming. And we stopped the idea of the first ladies, and then it now become a global affair. So it gives back to African Children Talent Discovery Foundation, and here we are today.
So from the university days, like you talked about, very, very quickly till now, like how many children would you say you have pulled off the streets in Africa, maybe globally?
To be honest, I won't be able, they are uncountable. I will not be able to remember, but I can give you some few examples. For example, there is a guy called Richard. Richard used to be they call them bouncer. He worked at the club. Very giant and heavy, hefty guy. So, in one day, my friend was having a birthday, and then I have a friend who has a club called Cubana in Wuse to here. So we went there. I saw him very giant. And I said to him, no, he was very nice. He took up my car, take care of my car. So when I was leaving, I dashed him some money. So he now approached me and said, sir, please can I have your number? I said, what? He said, no, in case you have any work you want to do, that I'll be available to assist. I said, yes, this guy is making sense. I might need him because most time we have this program of our foundation, so we don't need to bring security agency. We could just say, okay, let's get some bouncers. So one of the program, I called him, and he brought many of his colleagues, and they did a good job anyway. So I said to myself, I keep asking him questions about his life. I discovered that he has not been to school, and then he does not like the job he's doing, but he has no choice. This is the only thing he's doing. So I sat him down and talked to him for about 1 hour. And he discovered that he has really something that he can activate. So I asked him, I said, what is your talent? What is your natural ability? What do you know to do apart from going to school? Because your school knowledge has to work with your natural ability. And that's what many people don't understand. You see a lot of children, a lot of parents are actually architects of their children's failures. A child will say, Daddy, I want to become a teacher. And then the father says, God forbid, you can't be a teacher, this and that and that. Meanwhile, he's talking in line of his future. He could be a successful teacher than asking him to become a medical doctor. Today we have a lot of fair medical doctors in Nigeria because their parents forced them to become medical doctors. I have a friend, Ima, who are in school. The father wants him to become a veterinary doctor. Veterinary doctor, not even medical doctor. And Ima wants to become a journalist. The father refused. In 400 level, I spoke to Ima for 1 hour, just like the way I spoke to this guy. Ima now has to go and start from year 1 to read what do you call it? This communication, mass communication. Today his newspaper is one of the newspapers that goes to White House every day. He relocated to America. And what's his name? Richard is in Canada right now. He has finished school, he's married, and then his family, he has relocated them to Canada by mere just talking. I didn't give them nothing. Now I'm talking about people who have assisted. There's a lot of people who has finished aviation school now under our scholarship from my state, from other places. I can mention, there are many, I can't even remember their names. And I have about over 300 to 500 students who are under our scholarship in Paharia Foundation School in Bauchi State. Today many of them are not on the street. Some of them has graduated, they are working. And then I have Isaac. His name is Isaac. He's in Sweden now playing football. It's through our organization, our foundation. And then we have a lot of people who are into music. If you go, you see sometimes we do musical competition, and then some people will win some prizes. So there's many cases like that. Our own is to intervene to make the youth feel they are somebody, because most of them believe they are spectators. They have just come to watch people in this world. No, I try to let them know you are all unique in our own section. You have something in you that I don't have, and I have something in me that you don't have. So we are all built to bring the world together to make the world better. So this is what we are doing.
Thank you very much. In case you are just joining us, we have been talking to Engineer Galaji. He is the founder of African Children Talent Hub Foundation Discovery. I'm getting that wrong. Africa Children Talent Discovery Foundation. Like you have heard from him, for those of you that started with us initially, he has been able to raise a lot of people that are doing well even outside the shores of Nigeria and Africa. Now, Engineer, we'll go to the next step. In the course of talking, you said something about your state government and this. Do you have a kind of partnership with government? And if I will ask you the very funny question that got our brother angry, who is bankrolling you?
Yeah, that's a good question, and that shouldn't make me angry. You see, when you have a passion, then you do everything within your power to sustain that passion. Now, my state is my state, and the wise one said, "A charity begins at home." So, of course, I have to start from my state. I don't do any affiliation or any collaboration with my state government. There is never a day I receive one cover from my state government in the name of my foundation. Never. You can go, the history is there. Never a day. But every single work I do, I put it into this. May his gentle soul rest in peace. The only man who has assisted me and boosted this is happening is the former president, late president. Late president was like my godfather. And he supported me so much. And he advised me, counseled me. And there was a time we did a luncheon. That's the only luncheon we have, about 500 million. It's courtesy of him. He asked me, you have to do something that can support this NGO. I'm talking about 2008 or so, or 9, thereabout, before he died. So there are a lot of spiritual individuals. But the good thing is I was able to find my way at the UN ECOSOC status. And therefore, I can get a grant from any country in the world. And of course, I've been getting some grants, some support from Israel, from America, from Germany. By the way, in 2011, I signed a sister city, 2010, with the city of Auckland. And by implication is we have free scholarship. For example, right now, we have a lot of medical equipment that we're going to bring in next year. It's courtesy of that sister city. I'll just go and sign. Bauchi State become the 9th sister city that America. It was established by President Dwight York. And now Obama signed it into law in 2014, I guess, or 15, thereabout. And now I could go to America, bring in things like that, containers of medical equipment and other things for the benefit of just my state, Nigeria. Now, going back a little, those people that I was saying earlier, that I said to my friend, if nothing is done about these people, they don't some today they are the people we are calling Boko Haram. They are the one they engaged in doing all the things that is happening, that is scattering this country apart. So therefore, there's a lot of work to be done, not just from the civil society organization, not only from individual, but from everybody in Nigeria, because everyone has something to contribute. And that's why we're here in the country. And that's why you're able here in the world. If you have nothing to contribute, you don't have it. You won't be here. So, but you have to understand what do I have to contribute in this world. Talking about vaccine today of coronavirus, it wasn't just 2 or 1% that did it. There's a lot of people who come together, bring their brain knowledge together, and make this work.
Thank you very much. Now, on the last note, what would be your advice to the youth? When you started, you said you were in school then when you saw something, and from there you picked it up, and as the ideas were coming, you were putting it down until you got to where you are today. There are still some people there that believe that they are very empty. They don't know what they have. They don't know how to put it to use. So what would you be telling them?
Nobody is empty. There is no nature. Like I said, nature doesn't produce a failure, and nature doesn't make a mistake. So nobody in this world is empty. All you need to understand is, oh, hey, I got something in me. What do you have? You have a natural inbuilt ability that you are born with. That's why you are natural. Otherwise, you won't be here. For example, God in heaven created a man, a human being, and make it into being, and animals, and give them lives to breathe. That's how far he goes. But any other thing was created by a man that God created. Today you are flying aeroplane. It wasn't God who created aeroplane. No. But God gave the ability for a man, a being, to create that aeroplane. Today you have this mic, you are talking like this. It's one man idea that brought this into being. In those days, people wear skin like what do you call them, grasses as cloth. They don't have cloth. But one man sit down and think about, oh, there must be something that we could do that will make it cloth. Today we wear it. They say, oh, I like your outfit. It's somebody's idea. Now, many years ago, malaria used to be a killer disease. In fact, if you have malaria, you have to be buried. It's more dangerous than HIV/AIDS. Now, then a lot of explorers came from England to find out how to cure malaria. If you remember those days, what happened? Many of them died in the course of knowing how to cure malaria. But then, if you have it, it's like a death sentence. You have to be buried. So, today, one man come up with a vaccine, or should I call it a drugs or something. When you have a malaria, you say, oh, go and take chloroquine or something, that would be okay. But that wasn't what is happening before now. Before now, it was a killer. So, today, the ability that God has given somebody, he went and sat down and come up with something that is curing malaria. And so malaria is no more a death sentence. Today, they talk about coronavirus. One or two group of people come up with an idea. They come up with a vaccine. And everybody is clapping hand, oh, there is a vaccine. Meaning, oh, people can travel now without being fear of coronavirus. So, what I always tell the young people or everybody is, you have to sit down. Why in the first place am I in this world? Have you ever thought of this? Did I come to be seen looking at people? Because a lot of people, sometimes somebody will sit down and say, oh, I am poor, I am sick, I am this and that. Some of this also matters. It has its implications. You don't use your mouth for negative things. A lot of people die because, listen, if I had known what I know today, I would have saved my dad from dying. Because there are things that you should know. A lot of people will now use their mouth and bring themselves into poverty. I tell you something now, you might not believe, you might believe. I have not taken paracetamol. It's the easiest thing to take, or what do you call it? Vitamin C for the past 30 years, 25 years. And I will never take anything like that until I leave this world. You know why? Because it's what I believe. That doesn't mean that I don't have symptoms of what they call malaria or fever or something. No. But the difference there is, I don't have malaria. When I feel the symptoms, I don't say to anybody, I feel I have malaria. I said, oh, I feel headache. It's good to feel headache, but it's bad to have it. And maybe because of my believing, I don't think about it anymore. Give me 20, 30, 1 hour most, it's gone. So I don't need to bother going to the hospital to take medicine. It's almost the same thing also with talent. Some people, they are good in something, but they don't have the belief. They look at their background, where they're coming from. Now, it's not about where you're coming from. It has nothing to do with that at all. But it has everything to do with where you are going to, not where I'm coming from. Many of us, our parents don't have money. We grew up from a family where, they don't have nothing. Some of them are maybe educated. But if they look at their children today, they are happy because their children are making them proud, carrying their name up. Why? Because we have suddenly discovered something that we could actually do that our parents did not do. So that's how this is. Now, everybody out there watching this, just know that you are so important to this world. That's why you are here in the first place. But the question is, what is it that I am here for? There are a lot of people who today, they want to study law because somebody is successful as a lawyer. No, sir. That's the mistake you are making. You could be successful, more successful than that guy, just being a teacher, or not even going to school at all. Another thing. Many people, because their children, their neighbors' children are medical doctors and very successful, they force the children to go and become medical doctors, and they succeeded in killing their dream, producing failures. So we always encourage children. First of all, I always tell my son, I say, what do you want to become when you grow up? So I keep listening to him and then watching him working in the line of that. Most of these perfect engineering, people call them engineers today, building engineers. There are some of them that have not even gone to school. Those nurses, you call them all about, they didn't go to school. They're learning. It's a skill. So imagine if they have gone to school and act with that. So that's why your head knowledge and your natural knowledge go hand in hand. If my son comes out today and say, oh dad, I want to become a footballer, that's so it be it. As long as he has gone to that level where he could take a decision, I will give him all the support to become a footballer, because he will become a successful footballer. But if I say, no son, you can't be a footballer, I want you to be a doctor, I want you to be a this, I have succeeded in killing his dream and he will become a failure in life. So that's the mistake. And many of these young people, because they see their colleagues are successful in doing music, they say, oh, music is where the money is now. And they don't know how to sing. No, sir. You don't need to become a singer to become a successful human being. You could become a comedian. You might not even be an entertainer. You could be better in business. You could be better in other things. There is a lot of things that you could be better at this. So the advice I always give, which cannot stop, which I will continue to do. I believe this calling is something that I've been called to do. Is that just focus on whatever you believe is your calling and make sure that you do it and do it very well. Just do well in whatever you think you're good at doing. That way you become a successful person.
Thank you very much, engineer. Thank you if you been listening and you have been watching us. It has been a time out with Engineer Noah Dalaji on our program Ben Talks. Engineer Noah, in case you did not join early enough, is the founder of Africa Children Talent Discovery Foundation, where he's raising a lot of young children that are hopeless, bringing hope and bringing light into their lives. And I hope you join us for another episode of Ben Talks. Thank you very much and have a lovely day.